Hello everyone! I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today I want to talk to y'all about the Cloud Orchid Magazine special issue, Sirens in Space. So let's get into it. So this was a particular fashion show that back when we were Cloud Orchid Magazine, we covered for the fashion industry. We made a special edition magazine that was purely just all about the fashion show. And then we made a special first issue that included an expose about the Sirens in Space fashion show. So this was kind of like an extended version of the first issue of Cloud Orchid Magazine. For those of y'all that don't know, Cloud Orchid Magazine is the origin point of the publishing company, Cloud Orchid Publishing, that Brian and I created together. So I do have some other YouTube videos on this channel about that, about the history of me and Brian becoming friends and working together, as well as how I got started with all of this by working in the modeling industry. Now, I do want to specify that my author career did not get started with me working in the modeling industry. Honestly, working in the modeling industry was a short detour from my work as a professional author, and it helped jumpstart my career as an author. I have several videos about the breakdown of my journey to becoming an author. I basically started writing stories when I was like 3 years old. Like, this has been my life work. It is my purpose in life to be a writer and an author. And modeling is a really important thing that I did in my professional life for a period of time. I still do it, but it's not like my job anymore. Like, I don't go on tour like I used to. I don't have the schedule doing photo shoots like I used to. But because of those connections that I made, that's how I really jump-started my career as an author and building the Cloud Orchid Publishing House with Brian. So long story short, I was working as a professional fashion model, and Brian was working as a professional photographer. We became friends, and we started creating a lot of like photo sets that we would send off to fashion magazines as editorials, and we got published in a lot of magazines. And then we both kind of looked at each other and were like, this isn't actually very hard. We can just do this ourselves, because I'm a writer and he is a layout artist. So we were able to create our own fashion magazine, Cloud Orchid Magazine. And from there, after years of being Cloud Orchid Magazine, we evolved to publishing books, mainly my books, but some other people's books as well, into Cloud Orchid Publishing that it is today. And as part of the first issue, which was released in 2013, we also released this special fashion issue, which literally just highlights the Sirens in Space fashion show. Now, this fashion show was by designer Silver Sark. Silver Sark is a designer that I became very close friends with during my modeling days, and we're still friends today. I still support her work. She's an amazing fashion designer, y'all. Oh my goodness, just the evolution her designs have taken is out of this world, truly. And this particular fashion show, the reason why we went out of our way to publish this was it was my farewell fashion show. So this was the last runway show I ever did as a runway model, and it also marked the end of my career as a nationally touring professional model. After this fashion show is pretty much when I was like, okay, this is not going to be my main income anymore. This is not going to be my main job anymore. There was so much going on during this time period. I had reached the age in the modeling industry where you're considered old. I was 24. 25 is pretty much when you're like an old hag, and you either have to like switch markets with what kind of modeling you're doing, or you have to retire. The amount of work that you're going to get and the fees you're going to be able to charge just plummet once you hit 25. And I knew that at 24, and I was closing in on 25, that I was like, okay, I want to go out on top. I want to bow out with grace. I don't want to be that sad model that's like, trying to scrounge up scraps. I want to go out on top and be remembered. I still do modeling work with a short list of people, but like I said, it's not my main income, and I'm not like going all over Tarnation on tour anymore the way that I used to. And I have not been on a runway since, because I'm 38 years old now, and it has been like a decade and a half since I had a runway body, y'all, because bodies be bodying, I am older, lots of other stuff. Just, yeah, no, this was a very exciting chapter of my life, and I'm glad I got to do it, but it's not a thing that I can exactly just like revisit tomorrow. So that's a big part of the reason why we created this particular issue back then, was to capture that amazing moment of mine of this being my farewell fashion show. So here is my spread in the magazine of my final runway walk. It was a really, really incredible day, y'all. It was so beautiful, and I felt so honored that Silver Sark allowed me to have that spotlight, to be able to have this be the closeout for my career. And she was very excited to have that tied to this fashion show, to get people excited to come to it, that, you know, this is the last time you're going to get to see me on a runway. And with making this be the special edition of the first issue of Cloud Orchid Magazine, we included a larger spread of the Sirens in Space fashion show in the magazine, as well as featured it as the official cover art for this version of the first issue. And as you can see, here's one of the spreads from the fashion show in the magazine, but there's other stuff. There's other editorials and fashion shows in this particular issue of the magazine, which are the same ones that appear in the main first issue of Cloud Orchid Magazine. And this magazine is what really built my professional author career, in that Brian helped give me a platform to be able to publish my writing and publish creative works, which then evolved into us publishing my novels and novellas and my poetry collections. Is us creating this fashion magazine together, y'all. All of the editorials are written by me. We would go to these fashion events, or sometimes I would be a part of these fashion events, and I would interview the people there and write full editorials from those interviews. And that was a big thing that set our fashion magazine apart from other ones, is that a lot of them, if they even did interviews, it was just question answer, whereas I would take those question answers and I would then distill them into a comprehensive editorial that you could read, kind of like an expose on that person. And so having this level of professional writing in these fashion magazines really helped set us apart, and also really helped create the building blocks for my author career as it is today, in that I got to cut my chops with being professionally published via the fashion industry and the status that I held in the fashion industry, to begin building my brand from there. And that's why it's this amazing and kind of funny story that working as a professional model in the fashion industry is what really helped jumpstart my career as an author, and that now that I have the brand and the platform that I do is because of the brand and the platform that I had as a model, and also building the connections that I did in that industry, and becoming friends with Brian gave me the resources that I needed in order to make all of this that I have today a reality. It is up to me now today that, you know, I'm kind of carrying this all on my shoulders as like me, myself, and I, due to Brian taking a step back from Cloud Orchid Publishing for personal reasons, that it's pretty much a band of me. I'm basically doing everything, and I don't mind that. I'm Captain Control Freak. I love having control over everything, but also having these fashion magazines as our legacy and being able to look back on them and be like, this is where I got my start. I am so grateful for it, and it is just so amazing to see how far I've come and how far I hope to bring Cloud Orchid Publishing from today to where it's going to be in the future. So I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.